Hello to you, users of the internet. My name is Jake. I specialize in programming in the field of augmented reality and the advancement of augmented reality as a field. So, why have I brought you here today onto my YouTube channel? The main reason is this is a development diary of the project I'm working on called Sandwich Simulator. So, very quick breakdown as to what Sandwich Simulator is. It's an app for iOS and Android, mostly Android for the time being. Expect iOS later. The idea is it's an augmented reality program where you augment a table filled with lots of little goodies and build yourself a sandwich. Why? Because the game will tell you to do so. Do it within certain time limits, try not to do it with any fumbles, and there are different game settings, different mode types with all their own different rules, so try to follow them and get the best grade possible. Try and build your sandwich as fast as possible. So I'm doing this video in one shot, as you could probably guess by the music in the background and so on and so forth. So bear with me as I switch between scenes and so on and so forth. So let's get started by switching around to actually augmenting the scene. What is Sandwich Simulator and what is one of the basic scenes look like? So let's switch things up a bit, shall we? Augment things using user-defined targeting, a method that I have learnt over the past year and that you've seen in my other videos, which allows you, the user, to augment onto any surface that is flat and has an interesting pattern. So that's like packaging, games packages, newspapers, whatever. So here is the basic demo scene for Sandwich Simulator. You pick up your items, you control it, you would with your finger on the screen, but this is of course the mouse, and then you try to build yourself a sandwich. Certain issues at the moment, which is more or less collision of certain items because of how wafer thin certain items are, such as the ham and the cheese. Well, you can see how thin they are and how thin the collision boxes would be for this particular item. So it's so wafer thin it actually just goes through other collision boxes. So trying to fix that at the moment without making it too thick so it looks like other things are floating on top of items. So bit of problem there. But the general idea is build yourself a sandwich, and it will tell you to do different types, like ham and cheese, ham and cucumber, cheese and tomato. Lots of different types depending on, you know, what it tells you to do. The items do respawn on this mode. If they fall off the table, then they would hopefully respawn on the table within a certain amount of time. And yep, back to the other music. Anyway. They would respawn back onto the table and you'd finish making your sandwich. This is, for this particular kind of mode, there is a particular kind of mode I'm implementing later called One Chance mode, which is basically if the item falls off the table, that's it. You're not getting it back, so you have to be skilled and control your scene. The items were a lot more looser during development, however I've been able to lock it down. There'll be a few more tweaks before the official release, obviously. There are other mode types also that I've figured out would be interesting whilst developing this, such as there was a particular bug where all the items were just loose and had no gravity attached to it, so they were just all floating off. And I thought that would be a fun mode type, so I'll be implementing something around that, of course within controlled boundaries. There's Hell's Kitchen mode, which is more or less like this, but contains a lot of fire, and that is based on precision. Try not to get things into the fire, you'll lose more points that way. It's all going to be time-based still. And all these different mode types will have, well, different settings to them, like different rules to them. So yeah, that's one mode type, and I'm just going to destroy the entire scene with the cactus. Because yeah, even though items will respawn, it's still fun wrecking the scene, because seeing things fly off and blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm going to be switching now to the next scene, which is the opening screen where there isn't a camera. Just to prove a point first, that this is the current build on my on my Android. It's just to prove a point that it does work. It's on other devices, it just needs a lot more cleaning up. So first things first, let's switch to the different screen, so I'll see you in about a minute or so. No, do not save this scene. It's not very interesting to see me. And we're going to start this scene, and we're back onto the rotating sandwich, which is the opening screen here. We're going to have the text Sandwich Simulator 2015 or 16, again depending on when I finish it. Start button, which will take you to the next screen momentarily. This button here is actually going to be called AR Tutorial. It will more or less teach users from the very beginning how to augment the scene, the rules of augmentation, and a it being a nice guided way through it instead of confusing words and so on and so forth. Plan to record a decent voice for it with step-by-step instructions. Here is going to be the options button, which obviously controls the options to the program. And so we're going to switch here to different mode types. We got standard mode, which was the screen we were originally on. There's Hell's Kitchen mode, which has a placeholder image for the time being till the actual mode is finished. You have a few different things, such as fumbles will affect your grade, and so on and so forth. And you've got just things I'll tell you about standard mode, and so on and so forth. So the last thing is that I'm going to show you what this mode type looks like, what Hell's Kitchen mode looks like. So let's switch over to that mode now. Hopefully you'll see me back on the camera again shortly, because it's a bit odd to see people's screens with 5-second, 10-second delays for screens to load. Trust me when I say these programs are big. Hello again, user. I am back. So, let's augment this new scene. This one is Hell's Kitchen mode, where there's a few differences in what's on the table and how things work. So, first things. There we go. And here's the scene. The scene is there's a lot of fire. Normally you would try not to get your bread in the fire because there's going to be collision in the fire, which will basically tell you very bad things if you screw up by things going into the fire. Don't go to the fire! There's also the implementation of utensils such as a toaster, such as the microwave, which are all controlled by you, the user. But there are certain things that need to be... Oh god, come back here. Come back here, microwave. There are certain things that need to be controlled by the user, such as the microwave. The door is going to be on a hinge, so you can open and close. Quick implementation as to why you should not put metal in the microwave. I'm going to be putting in things like that, so that's got a static shock there. And try and make a few things a bit more fun, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be trying and put secret things into the gameplay for each mode type, because that makes things interesting for people. That makes it interesting for you, because it means that there's more things to explore that might be hidden. For example, there might be something hidden in the flames. There isn't yet, but there might be, so that might be a thing. And yeah, just generally, you have fun with the program. I mean, sure, it's not going to work like you want all the time. For example, that microwave ain't coming back. But it's something fun that myself and a friend are working on. The friend has a job most of the time, so he's just throwing assets at me whenever he can. I'm lucky for that. But if this is a program that you're interested in, it's going to be free on iOS and Android by the end of December. So feel free to download it. Feel free to leave comments as to what items you wouldn't mind seeing. I mean, I would like some more input as to stuff that you put in your sandwiches, funny things you'd like to see on the table, and so forth. So, yeah, with that in mind, Sandwich Simulator, new project, augmented reality made super easy for you, the users. Lots of different mode types on the way. Any suggestions, throw them over into the comments. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for hearing me ramble on for the past 8 minutes. The music in the background was from One Punch Man. Don't screw me over for copyright, please, YouTube. But yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you guys very shortly.